Hi, Nushrratt. Welcome to
I
TiffinTalks. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. You've been doing so well, and I've been looking at your graph. It's only rising. You're doing, you know, work with terrific directors, terrific co-actors, and your own, your own art is growing. You can see with every film, you're becoming better and better. So many congratulations.
thank you so much, Kavi. Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you specifically about Ajeeb Daastaans because that's the one that I've just seen, although you were very, very good in Chhalang as well. But
Thank you.
about Ajeeb Daastaans, what was it like playing that character and what a chilling end.
Yeah.
So chilling.
No, I think Kavi, this was one of those films of my career which just gave me pure joy. Yeah. I mean, there was really no other agenda, no other conversation, no other thought behind doing this film. Um, I like collaborating with people creatively. Like I like working with people who are speaking the same language as I do, or they're speaking a language which I'm so intrigued by that I want to work with them to learn what they're saying and what they're doing. This film was one of those kind of things where when I met Raj, I was like, I was totally struck by the fact that he's chosen to do a film like this, being a Dharma director, and he wants to keep it this dark. So I was first just looking at him. I said, "Are you sure you're going to do this film exactly like this? You're not gonna change anything about it." And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay, how did this happen?" And we just saw the film right. I think, uh, when you say it's a collaboration, this truly was a collaboration. Like we discussed what Meenal would do, what she would think. He would say, "So, bro, what do you think you want to do in this?" Like he would ask me that, and I would sit and think about it. I said, "Okay, just give me a few days. Let me come back to you on this." I remember when he had doubts as to when if I'm going to be able to be a maid because he's like, you're always playing these glamorous roles. Are
Yeah.
you sure you're going to like be able to do this? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid of any of this. Like, this is not a botheration. I am dwelling into deeper thoughts as to how am I going to be able to get her right? Not whether I want to do this. I want to do this, but am I going to be able to succeed in getting her right? So we truly were a creative collaboration on this film, and I think that's what gave me the most joy in achieving it. Is when I got the take right, and I'm like, oh yeah, we did it. So yeah,
And Nusrat, what is good about Meenal is that she's flawed. I mean, she's not goody goody. There is a darker side to her. Usually when we look at working women, especially, when we look at certain kind of working women, we have this notion, oh, they're so pure and virtuous and honest. What I like about your Meenal is that she's just like us. She's clever, she's calculating, she's always looking at the main chance, and yet she has her boundaries as well. So
I
I
think
found that very interesting.
same here. I think the one sort of underlining thought which I give to every character. I mean, I do it scene wise, but if I had to just give it to her on the whole film generally, for me would be just to do anything to survive. I mean,
Yeah.
if that 50 rupee note that she stole is going to be able to buy her and the kid a new board game, or like a fan, or like a new ribbon or a nail polish or a lipstick, whatever. It's for them so amazing to do. And it's like, oh, they're so excited about it. And it's just a 50 rupee note. So for the person who she's stealing it from, she won't even realize that 50 rupee missing it. So, I mean, just to kind of accept that that's how she functions and that's what her life is, and that's what she would do to survive, was the premise in which she was written, and then kind of built on.
Right. So when a role like this comes to you, like even Chalang, it's a little outside perhaps your comfort zone. What is your first reaction?
I'm actually quite scared. I'm scared every single film that I pick up, whether I'm going to get this right or not.
Yeah.
And I remember even on Chalang's set, everybody was fed up with me, from Raj to Hansal sir to my to the writer Asim to everybody else, the ADs, everybody. I would do a take and I would go, and I had a diction teacher on set as well, so I would of course eat his brains. So after every shot, every take, not like a whole scene, like every shot, every take, even if it's like just a reaction,
Huh.
I would go into everybody's brain and say, "Was that okay? Was that okay?" Because I don't see the monitor. I can't go watch my own takes.
Okay.
I
You
have never done. I just can't do it unless a director calls me to say, "I need you to watch this take, so you realize what you're not doing or what you're doing." Like till they don't tell me to come behind the monitor and see the take, I don't watch my own takes. I just can't. I feel like If I see it, then I'll go back and do something absolutely off the rockers, which is going to totally throw the character off, and I don't know what I'll do. So I don't trust my own self when I do that. So I don't watch takes. So I go and ask everybody, and not just once. I'll go and ask them for the whole day. So they're like, okay, can somebody just put her in a corner and shut her up? So I'm really scared and nervous most of the time. But that nervous energy keeps me at it. I think it keeps me questioning myself every day. It keeps pulling me out of my comfort zone, and to kind of push that little harder and that little ahead. Where, for example, मान लो राज ने बोल दिया नहीं कुछ ऐसे flat सा गया, मैंने कहा हाँ क्या 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 नहीं रुक जा, नहीं sir one more sir one more, and then I'll do 10 takes,
Right.
because he said it was slightly flat, which Hansal says like, but it's fine. I'm like, no sir, no sir, no sir, wait. So I go into that hyper sort of person where I need to do it multiple times to get it right. So.
And you talked about Raj, and of course I remembered Love, Sex Aur Dhokha. That it was almost at the beginning of your career, and what a fantastic film! So much ahead of its time. And then I think there was a time when you struggled a lot. Talk a little about that period, because it was a great launch, but then we didn't see so much of you except when you came back with Sonu and all those films.
No, so I'll tell you what. Kaveree, that's just life for me. So when LSD happened, all of us actors got quite a spotlight for the work that we'd done, right? I mean, you could credit the film to the fact that they performed really well and the film really worked, and we were very critically acclaimed, and people praised us a lot.
Right.
The film came, I think, in 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
10.
Right?
Yes.
And in 2011, Pyaar Ka Punchnama released. Yeah. So it's not like I wasn't there. I was there just the next year. But the problem with Pyaar Ka Punchnama was the film was not mine. The film was primarily the boys.
The boys.
And we were just kind of like a setup, or we were just kind of, I don't know how to really put it. We were the instigation for the film to land the joke or the punch that it did land. So what happened is people remembered the joke and the laughter and the punch which the boys got. So the applause the boys got, they didn't really. I mean, that was the film. That was the premise of the film. We had to take the back seat to let the film kind of reach the audience that it did. I did Akashvani right after that, which flopped.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, the biggest blow of my career so far was Akashvani, because I had a lot of hope from it. Okay. A film, again, that I felt was very ahead of its time. I don't know whether we should have made it then or maybe 2-3 years later. I don't know. We never know with these things, that kind of hit rock bottom for me. But then you're back with Pyaar Ka Punchnama 2 just a year later.
Yeah.
So I have been working a film a year literally for the last all these years, but because you couldn't kind of say, oh, that was her. You know what I mean? That's when you kind of realize that maybe she wasn't around, but I was. So yeah, that which is all right. I mean, I think ups and downs in lives and yeah. Sorry. Tell me, did that what?
Did that bother you? Did that bother you, Nushrratt? Because you
not at all. Actually, not at all. I mean, what bothered me was the fact that why are these characters written this one dimensionally?
Yeah.
Why can't we give them more sort of gravitas and life and more, like, why can't we humanize them slightly more? But that was not the film. So it was really never a topic of conversation, because वो picture ही नहीं. You have to understand what the film is like and it took me a while to learn that. Like, for example, when I did Dream Girl, you have to know what the film is.
Yeah.
If that is the film, you choose now whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. Now, if you've chosen to do it, then you can't sit and get bothered about it. Yeah. And that's just how I kind of work. I look at what the film is. If I like the film, I want to do it. Then it doesn't bother me whether how much did I get or did I not get, where was I. It doesn't bother me. I don't know how, but it doesn't bother me.
Right.
It never has.
So, Nushrratt, of course, you are also not an insider. You come from outside, from, I think, a family that has nothing to do with the industry. Although you're from Mumbai, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm from Bombay, born and brought up in Bombay.
Could you tell me a little about your background? I know it has nothing to do with films, but tell me a little about it.
No, of course, no problem. I live with mom, dad, and my dadi in Juhu, born and brought up here. Went to Podar, went to Jai Hind, did my BMM mass media. While I was studying only, I didn't want to act ever. I never thought I mean, I was quite a tomboy and I was quite shy. I couldn't be on stage for even 5 seconds. I couldn't take a picture ever. Like I was always like, I'll click the picture. I don't want to be in the picture. I don't know why. So for me, honestly, it's been like a full transformation. If you see my pictures in college, you'd never recognize it's me because I'm just the oddest ball out with the weirdest sort of sense of clothes and dressing. And I don't know
Why? What was so weird about you?
I would wear my father's oversized kurta pajama to Jai Hind College. Jai Hind College, where
Which is very
everybody is making
fashionable.
fashion statements. Yeah,
Yeah.
where everybody is making fashion statements, and I have landed up in this oversized khaki kurta, which is not even my size. It's my dad's kurta and my dad's pajama because I'm like, you know what? I take a train every day for an hour from like Santa Cruz to Churchgate, and it's hot. People are like pushing me in and out of these compartments. I cannot be bothered about clothes. I need to be something comfortable, and then I'm spending a whole day in Jai Hind. I can only go back after college and after the day ends. I can't survive in these clothes. So I went very practical dressing where I was just like, I can chill. And then I would take my aunt was a journalist. She used to work at Midday and Daily at that point.
What
So
was
she had
that?
this one, Maniza Bharuccha.
Okay.
Then she went to Dubai. So she was at Gulf News all for a long time. So she had that one, I don't know why they call it a journalist jhula, but they call it a journalist jhula. So I would wear my dad's oversized kurta pajama, have that journalist jhula, tie my hair up, wear Oshos, and that was me in Jai Hind College. So nobody even looked at me for a second. Nobody even turned around to look at me. That was me. Like I was invisible, insignificant. So from there to here, I don't know what has happened. I really don't know how it has happened.
But how did it? What switch flipped?
I don't know what happened actually. I know that ads and I did ads first and I did a couple of TV shows as well, like serials as well. It happened to me. I did not actively go out and seek it. I didn't go to any acting school. I went to very few auditions in the beginning, and I kept getting them. So because they cast me, somewhere my kind of confidence was like, oh, okay, cool, they're casting me in this and I can do this. So the beginning of it was just for fun.
Right.
To see कि अच्छा क्या होता है, like I've never done this, let's try it. I don't really know when it became a career path also for me. And LSD I auditioned and I didn't get it first, and I was like, okay, I didn't get it, I just auditioned for the fun of it. Then the actor dropped out and they called me back and they said, let's do workshops with you. I had fun in the workshops, and then I was doing film. So it just organically happened to me, which is why I'm here actually. I mean, I don't think I ever actively pursued it as a career until and unless after LSD became what it became is when I actually started pursuing it. When I actually started, working towards it and doing things, grooming myself, understanding what it is. It started then. By then, to pehli aa hi gayi thi picture. So,
Right. So, Nusrat, so you've not, but you must have still faced some rejection at some point. And did it ever get you down? Was there anything that happened to you that you thought, my God, why am I doing this?
no, of course, my first long years were all rejections only. I mean, even though I did a Pyaar Ka Punchnama, it's not like it was the only film I wanted to do, right? I mean, I auditioned for other things and I never got it. I mean, I'm like, I've done LSD, I did so well, people said such nice things about me. Now I'm auditioning, but I'm not getting anything. What's happening?
What were the things that were said to you? You looked good, you acted well.
Not then, no, Kaveree, I didn't look good then. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's happened. I didn't know how to do anything. I would go in like baggy jeans and Oshos and like one stupid t-shirt and chashma and like with curled permed hair and all, and they'd be like, who's this Prani? Like, is she come to audition for a film? Is she okay? No. So no, yeah, beginning I would get all like friend roles or yeah, I mean, I've done also some parts like that, never mind. But they never saw me as the protagonist of a film. They never saw me. I mean, back then it was the lead heroine kind of cast and mold. And of course, I've said this in earlier interviews. People were like, "नहीं आप नहीं लगते हो heroine material, नहीं हो सकते हो." And if I had to see myself now, like the way I used to, then even I would say the same thing. हाँ ये लड़की कैसे heroine बन सकती है? मतलब ये disconnect लग रहा है. But that was the mold that the film industry had made for a female actor then. But over the years, that mold has changed, Kavi, which is why I feel like actors have a completely different life now, where you are an actor and not and your USP is to be different, not to fit in anymore.
Yeah.
Your USP is what is the thing, what is it that you bring differently to every film and every character. Not that you need to be one character in every film.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because the language has changed, the makers are changed. They're taking those risks. Casting people are casting. Audiences are expecting different things. They applaud actors for acting now. Like I think because it's opened up so much over these few years, and it's been a gradual change, is why I think I am where I am. Otherwise, I would not have been here. I really, honestly, truly think that.
But you think the
Hello,
love,
Kaveri. We'll have
yeah,
to
just
ask
the
the
last,
last. Yeah, please.
just
Thank
the
you.
last two questions. I've had a chance to talk to Nusrat after a long time, so I just need a little more time. So, Nusrat, then it's Nusrat or Nushratt? Nusrat.
Nushratt, SS.
Nusrat.
Yes.
So, Nusrat, the Love Ranjan school of filmmaking, as I call it, which is a very different kind of world. What did that teach you, and how are you using it now for some of the work that you're doing?
You know, that whole team, which
Yeah.
people actually don't know, we started off as one unit where our DP was the same for all those films. As actors, he was same for all those films. Our assistant directors were the same. Our music director was the same. Our editor was the same. We were like a bunch of same people doing the films that we loved doing as a team together.
Right.
And we genuinely had a lot of, we enjoyed what we did. And that was, like I said, that's the one thing that I take to. If I have fun on a set with that team, I want to keep working with them again because it was such a blast doing that with them. But those were also my very initial years of understanding this world. Firstly, the business from point of view, the acting point of view, just the basic mechanisms of what a film industry is and what really happens. So those years of my life were my schooling.
Right.
I completely give all of everything I've learned so far from everything of how a film is made to how it's edited, what a background score is, what in cuts are, what outtakes are, what transitions are. I've learned it doing those films with that team because I would chat with everybody on that team. Like I would sit with the sound engineer and I would sit with the mixing person and I would sit on edit and I would just ask questions. I remember when PKP1 was being shot, I went to set 2 days before the shooting just to understand what lighting is. So I sat for the whole day with my DP and I'm like, sir, wo kya hai? Sir, wo kya hai? Sir, idhar se kyun aa rahi hai? Idhar se kyun aa rahi hai? Like I've done that just to kind of understand कि दुनिया क्या है क्योंकि I can't not know it. So that's my experience with them. Yeah. It's been an absolute learning sort of curve for me being with them on those things.
Right. And what are the things that you're taking now to the work that you're doing? You've just done this. You're working on something with Vijay Verma, I think. Can you talk a
And
little
Sunny
about
Kaushal.
Yes.
Hurdang, yes.
Right. So what are you
we still
doing
have
now?
some parts to shoot. Yeah.
Right.
Huh,
So
sorry.
after Ajeeb Daastaans, yeah. So what you're doing after Ajeeb Daastaans?
What am I doing after Ajeeb Daastaans? I'm waiting for Chhori to release because now Ajeeb Daastaan released. Chhori is a film we finished shooting right after lockdown with abundance here. Waiting for that to release. Very excited about that. Again, something completely different, which I have completely given my heart, blood, sweat, tears to. And it's not even about my effort really. It's about the fact that we chose to do a film like this, and I want to see what like it does and what the audiences think of it and how it's received. So very nervously.
Can you tell me a little about it?
It's a remake of a Marathi film that came out in 2017 called Lapa Chhapi.
Okay.
That won a few awards back then. It's about this one female protagonist, a pregnant lady, and some hardships that kind of go through with her, and a survival story again at best, is what I can say for now. Yeah. I can't say more.
And then you have Hurdang.
Then I have Hurdang, which I hope we finish shooting. I don't know when now, and then it'll come out. Yeah, other things are not announced yet. So I don't know what to say. Ram Setu, of course, we shot for it, and we still have a lot more to go. So
yeah, that will be exciting as well. A really big.
Yeah.
So many congratulations again. I think Meenal is one of the most memorable characters created. A true working woman, you know. I mean, she'll do anything to make it, and I think
to get through.
Yeah, and it's a great spirit, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I think all of us could learn a thing or two from that. Thank you, Nushratt Bharuccha. What a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you, Kaveree. Absolute pleasure. Speak to you soon.